Hey folks, just wanted to show you that scene. Isn't that absolutely stunning? Look at this. So I live just over here, so it's about a 5-minute walk out the back of our house, but we're near the Ashdown forest area. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just been out filming some material for a digital online communications product that we're creating, so I'll keep you posted on that. But I wanted to just do a quick share with you, actually, for those of you that are parents. There's been all sorts of interesting reactions from people about homeschooling and the fact that they're having to take the kids into an environment and basically spend time with their kids studying and going back over lessons and learning, really, well, learning with the kids, but also finding a way to manage the kids during this process. And it's not easy. I mean, we've got 2 children, and my fiancé has been amazing. She's done a lot of the sort of drive of it, actually. She's been incredible. And we tend to talk about it in the morning or in the evening, and just been talking to my daughter because she wants to learn more about communication. So we're going to introduce that into the homeschooling experience. But I think, you know, I'm just reflecting as a parent, so this is not meant to be any sort of teaching or anything like that. But my lesson that my learning that I'm taking away from this, and I think it's a good reflection for any parents watching this, is that this process of watching our children at home learning and sitting with them, without a doubt, certainly for us, is giving us a better insight into what she does and doesn't know, but also how she learns. And I say she, I mean both of them, but our youngest is only 5, so she's more kindergarten at the moment. And I've had this conversation with a few people. Some people are grumbling, oh, you know, homeschooling, I don't want to do it. Others are like, oh gosh, where do I start? And I thought my child was at this level, or they're way ahead of or behind or whatever. But it's a brilliant opportunity to get a sense of what inspires them. So we're, for example, our eldest daughter, Savannah, we're getting a much clearer picture of how she gets stimulated, when she switches off, what causes her to switch off, what time frames of studying switch her on and off, and how to keep her engaged. And I think that's really insightful for us as parents. I just think that for most people that don't do homeschooling, i.e. for people that are locked into the conventional education system where the kids go off in the morning and they come back in the afternoon, the average person, the only real measure of how the kids are doing is a school report, exam results, and, you know, what the teachers are saying on a parent evening. And that's a snippet. Whereas here we're in a situation where we have the opportunity to genuinely spend time with them and to notice how they are reacting around the studies. Now, you know, I've got a PhD. I spent years studying and climbed the whole academic ladder, etc. And I've got my style of learning, and each adult has their own way of tackling things. And the challenge we've got as parents, and I'm noticing this as well, the 2 of us with our kids, is we'll have a certain way we want to sit down and study a subject, or how we learnt it, but they may have been learning it a different way. And of course, there is no right or wrong way to any of this. Every human being has a different mechanism to learn. Some are more visual, some are more internal, more academic, less academic, more auditory, etc. And it's really interesting for us to see that in Savannah, our daughter, and I'm actually quite inspired by it. So we've taken this in a very positive way, and we're using it to grow ourselves, but also it's showing us where I think the gaps are in the schooling system. I mean, our daughter goes to a fairly different type of school to most people, because we didn't want to fit into the normal schooling system. But I'm sure if you're looking at your kids right now, you might be questioning certain things. So, for example, one of the questions that I raise on the table about the whole of the education system is how much emotional development do kids get? And I don't think it's a lot. I mean, we're quite lucky our daughter goes to a school where there is a fair bit of that. But even then, I mean, you know, kids aren't taught about values and beliefs and communication and understanding other people and that level of presence. It's not really a subject because we're so academically biased towards studying German, language, history, maths, science, etc., which is all great. So there are certainly gaps in the overall system, in my view. And I think there's a chance for you to look at your kids and for us to look at our children and say, You know, where do we feel those gaps could be? How can we help them grow into that area? And what we started to do with Savannah, for example, is say to her, well, what are you inspired by? What do you want to learn? What are the subjects that you'd like to learn? What are the new subjects? Why don't we get online and find some books that interest you? So that it gives them a chance to have a different level of engagement, as opposed to just saying, well, this is the school's curriculum, this is what you've got to learn, you've got to do this week, do this, do that, and then you can go out and play or whatever. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not trying to criticize. All I'm saying is I think we have an opportunity here to, and this is unique, we're not going to be in another lockdown like this again, I don't believe, not quite like this anyway, because the next time anything like this happens, there'll be a different level of preparation. So as parents, you look back to your childhood, and I'm sure there's things that you remember, unique times. I remember the year of 76, for example. The summer of 76 was a crazy hot year, if anyone's old enough to remember that. Crazy hot. I still have very distinct memories of that particular period. The heat, the time, everyone was chilled out, very few people doing stuff, just hanging out because it was so hot. We had fire hose bands, hose bands, what have we got, garden hose bands, all that sort of stuff. And I still remember certain things, and this COVID's going to be the same thing. And we're just asking ourselves the question, what great memories can we leave for our kids in this moment? So when they reflect back on this, it wasn't just about the illness, the virus and what happened, but it was also the experiences that kids had along the way as well. Just a thought, I'll leave you with that one. And enjoy watching your kids learn, and see if you can understand a bit more about them and what turns them on, what inspires them, and maybe giving them a slightly different breadth of knowledge as well. Some stuff that you can, Savannah, I said to Savannah, what do you want me to teach you personally? And she said, Daddy, I want to learn about communication. So that's the thing we're going to focus on. Every parent has something that they've probably got a passion for, and maybe that's something to bring to the table that they wouldn't get in a classroom. Right, I'm going to get back. I've got to start looking at my product now.